Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Tonight, our country is taking a step forward in the fight against COVID-19 thanks to Corning Incorporated. The company is out with new vials that they say will increase the availability of vaccines. Big Fox's Matt Kleindienst has all the details.
Good evening, Ann. Corning's latest invention hopes to help drug manufacturers produce the COVID vaccine to be delivered across the country and around the world. Today, Corning unveiled its latest innovation that will store the COVID vaccine. Corning Velocity Vials. The Velocity Vials join Corning's Valor Glass technology to be used to deliver the COVID vaccine. According to the company, the vials are built to be more durable than traditional vials, leading to reduced risk of contaminated medicine. The vials are also designed to increase efficiency of the manufacturing process, allowing for faster delivery of vaccines. Corning's pharmaceutical manufacturing plant in North Carolina is set to produce up to 500 million vials per year, allowing for the U.S. to shore up its supply chain and deliver vaccines around the world. To date, Corning products have helped deliver over 3 billion doses of the COVID vaccine. Matt Kleindienst, Big Fox, WYDC in Corning.
A state assembly judiciary committee investigation into former Governor Andrew Cuomo validated the findings in the Attorney General's August report. According to the judiciary report, Cuomo harassed multiple women and used state resources to publish his COVID memoir for personal profit. Assemblyman Phil Steck said that the results of the investigation would have resulted in Cuomo's impeachment if he was still governor. The Judiciary Committee's report is expected to be released by Thanksgiving.
As to the fifth count of the information, Gage Grosskreutz, we the jury find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty.
The jury in Kenosha, Wisconsin, deciding Kyle Rittenhouse is not guilty today. The verdict came following 2 weeks of testimony and on the fourth day of deliberations. Rittenhouse was 17 when he shot 2 men to death and wounded a third during protests in the summer of 2020. Prosecutors called Rittenhouse a wannabe soldier who provoked a confrontation. The defense argued he feared for his life and acted in self-defense after being ambushed by a, quote, crazy person. Rittenhouse had faced life in prison. Big news in the fight against the pandemic. The FDA has given its approval for the use of booster doses of both the Moderna and Pfizer COVID-19 vaccines for everyone over 18. In a statement today, Dr. Peter Marks of the FDA said the currently available data supports expanding the eligibility of a single booster dose for both vaccines. The Food and Drug Administration did not need a recommendation from its advisory committee before making today's decision. Dr. Anthony Fauci said Tuesday that no safety signals linked to booster shots have emerged thus far. The next step, the CDC's Vaccine Advisory Committee will need to sign off before a rollout of the booster shots can begin. One of the busiest travel weeks of the year also comes as a deadline will pass for TSA employees to get the COVID-19 vaccine. Monday is the last day for federal workers to get vaccinated against COVID-19. Many worry this could have an impact on holiday travel. Drew Reeves reports.
ID, please.
Traveling during the holidays is always hectic, and travelers must be prepared for a chaotic scene. Airlines also plan for this time of year for months.
I'm ready for a busy day because it makes the day go by so much faster.
But looming this year is a vaccine requirement deadline that will come Monday for TSA employees. Joe Lowry, a TSA employee at PDX and president of their union, says the agency has been losing employees for a while now.
We're losing a lot of officers. It's really impacting what we do every day. We notice it on the checkpoints.
He says it's not just the shot requirement, but that will add to things in the coming week.
People are trying to figure out, do I get the shot? Do I not get the shot? And how's that going to impact not only me, but my family, my paycheck?
He says so far it has not impacted wait times for security screenings, but people may notice it more in the next week, depending on how many employees choose not to get the COVID-19 vaccine. He says passengers need to be ready.
Please show up 2.5 hours, maybe even 3 hours early. Have your documents, your ID, your passport ready to go. Listen to what the officers are telling you that they need you to do before going through security. It's going to help the lines move along much better.
But he says no matter what, travelers will get through security and off to their flights.
Even though we're down officers, security is still going to be the same. We're still there to do our job and to keep the traveling public safe. There's no worries there.
President Biden's latest federal spending bill is gaining steam on Capitol Hill. Just 4 days after signing the infrastructure bill into law, the president's nearly $2 trillion social spending bill came up for a vote on the House floor. Caroline Shively has the latest on where that bill stands.
The yeas are 220, the nays are 213. The Build Back Better bill is passed.
House lawmakers voted to pass President Biden's climate and social spending bill Friday, sending the nearly $2 trillion package to the Senate.
This bill is monumental. It's historic, it's transformative, it's bigger than anything we've ever done.
The vote, split along party lines with no Republicans on board, followed Kevin McCarthy's overnight speech on the House floor. The House Minority Leader spending more than 8 hours blasting the Build Back Better bill, delaying the process over criticism the measure costs too much.
This is the single most reckless and irresponsible spending bill in our nation's history.
The vote was originally scheduled for Thursday night after the Congressional Budget Office released its cost estimate, saying the legislation would add almost $400 billion to the nation's debt over 10 years. But Democrats dispute that, given the bill also brings in more than $1 trillion in new revenue.
By most estimates, this bill reduces the deficit.
While the CBO's score convinced some moderate holdouts to vote for the bill, Senators Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema remain unconvinced. Their votes necessary for Democrats to pass in the divided Senate. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has said he'd like to vote before Christmas. Senators are expected to make changes to the House bill, which means the House would then need to vote on the amended version. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
Still ahead tonight, dogs have been trained to sniff out explosives, but 2 dogs are in training to smell COVID-19 in people.
These dogs are meant to be public health protectors. COVID's the first job. These dogs are coming out as screening tests, about 96 to 98% accurate.
So how can these dogs smell COVID? A look at how it works coming up.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Tonight's Big Fox forecast is brought to you by William Mattar. Good evening, everyone. A big difference in our temperatures today, a lot cooler than they were yesterday. Now, Myra this afternoon reporting about 11 degrees cooler, Corning about 9, 8 in Watkins Glen, but Mansfield about 15 degrees cooler than the yesterday afternoon. For this evening, that cold air will start to get even colder. In fact, in the overnight, we will dive down into the 20s under a partly cloudy to mostly clear sky. We are expecting clouds to remain. It will be chilly for your Saturday. We have another storm system approaching. Showers will be possible Sunday into Monday. And then as the colder pool of air starts to move in, we are expecting the possibility of some snow Monday night into your Tuesday. So high pressure that's been building in, leaving us with this chilly air, will start to move toward the Atlantic by tomorrow. But still, though, we're not going to recover as far as our temperatures are concerned. Not much, but we should see a little bit of sunshine early in the day. Those clouds will start to increase by the afternoon as another storm system approaches. So if you're trying to work outside or just get a workout in, temperatures around 36 degrees at 9 o'clock, by lunchtime around 44. I think we will warm up into the upper 40s, possibly even in lower 50s, and then drop back down to around 40 degrees at 5 o'clock in the evening. So the storm system moves through the Great Lakes region right over the Twin Tiers, and as that colder air starts to move in, there could be a wintry mix by Monday night into your Tuesday. So get ready for that cold air to return by the end of the weekend. Much colder air, I should say. Future radar is showing not a lot going on for your Saturday. I think clouds will really start to thicken up and really fill up our sky. But overall, no precipitation tomorrow. However, on Sunday, as we head toward the end of the day, our next storm system approaches. So by lunchtime, some of the southern tier, or actually the northern tier of Pennsylvania, could have a few showers, even in Steuben and or near Hornell, we could get a few showers, and then all that will start to really pick up in the afternoon into the evening hours. So increasing rain chances during the day on Tuesday with colder air starting to move in. Some of that could be a wintry mix on Sunday, but then as that cold air really sinks to the south, all our precipitation will be changing over to snow by Monday night. Here's a look at your forecast. Dry conditions tonight, temperatures diving down into the 20s. Highs tomorrow will be around 45 degrees. And then as we head into the weekend, cool air sticks around. It gets even colder on Tuesday, starting off in the 20s. And our high will only be around 36 degrees. On Thanksgiving Day, it will be a little bit warmer, but clouds will start to thicken up again with another storm system coming in.
Before we've even set the Thanksgiving table, some are worried they won't have a place to set their Christmas gifts because artificial trees are in short supply. It's all because of the supply chain mess. Lydia Hugh is in Cranford, New Jersey to tell us more about what folks can expect this holiday season.
We are at the showroom of the National Tree Company. Don't be fooled by the extensive, beautiful inventory you see here. This is not what you're going to find in your retail locations this holiday season. The Christmas Tree Association estimates that inventory at retailers is down about 25% compared to what you would usually see. All of these trees are made in China and imported, some of them stuck in the supply chain. And that's driving costs. The National Tree Company had to raise their prices this year to offset the shipping costs that rose by 30%.
A huge price increase of containers. So last year containers cost us about $2,000. This year they're costing us about $20,000. Fortunately, we had to raise our prices. I mean, when you have a tenfold increase in the cost of transportation, we had to raise our prices. So we raised our prices 25% across the board.
So the message from the retail experts is that there are probably going to be enough artificial trees for everyone who needs one. But if you have your heart set on a particular style, maybe you want a white tree, you better go and buy that this weekend because supplies won't last very long.
Dogs have been trained to sniff out explosives, drugs, and even notify their handlers to possible seizures. But 2 dogs have now been trained to sniff out COVID-19. Clara Benitez caught up with the dogs at the San Diego Ice Arena.
Go skate! In a sport where there's a lot of close contact, there are plenty of COVID-19 protocols. But today, there's an additional measure. Come on, good boy. 2 pups being trained to sniff out COVID. Find it. Good boy. Meet Robin and Gromit. That's my good boy. Okay, take me. With Scent Solution. Trained to smell out the coronavirus.
These dogs are meant to be public health protectors. COVID's the first job. These dogs are coming out as screening tests, about 96 to 98% accurate. Really good. It's better than a lot of the tests on the market.
So how can these dogs smell COVID? Well, when we contract the disease, we release a certain odor. These dogs have been trained to sniff out COVID using these test samples from people who have tested positive.
That's it. That's quick. Their sense of smell is phenomenal, 10,000 to 100,000 times better than ours. Once they're trained for this, our goal here is that these dogs right now are sniffing for COVID, but they can be repurposed down the road to do other things. They can be used for other public health issues.
Veterinarian Patricia Unger says she was inspired to start the program in San Diego after seeing other locations sniffing out the disease.
Miami Heat had them for some of their games, and also NASCAR was using some. Right now, Miami Airport's using them to screen their employees. When they come into work in the morning, they dangle their masks over a little partition and the dog sniffs the mask.
Your temperature is within normal range.
Unger says she wants to be able to help San Diego County stop COVID from spreading by using the best nose possible.
I can't smell it, you couldn't smell it, but they can. And we verify, we've had them sniffing people who actually have COVID, and she showed us that they know what it smells like. It's amazing to watch.
Cybersecurity experts warn there's a spike in social media scams right now. Heather Sullivan has more on how to avoid being scammed this holiday season.
The Identity Theft Resource Center says scammers are taking over Instagram accounts, using information from previous data breaches like that of Facebook, or tricking you into giving them personal information posing as Instagram accounts they've already stolen.
So an individual feels like someone within their network is contacting them, but the reality is that account's been taken over by someone else.
Victims are locked out while scammers reach out to their followers.
In one instance, one of the victims had a friend who was in need of an organ transplant, and that person's account was taken over. And so they reached out to everyone in the network and said, hey, we found the organ, but now I need to raise money to actually get the operation.
The Better Business Bureau has revealed its top 12 holiday scams this year. Number 1, misleading social media ads.
You place an order for the item and then you never receive it.
Number 2, social media gift exchanges, such as bottles of wine. Pick a name and send money to a stranger, or even a Secret Santa dog. The BBB says these are sometimes pyramid schemes. And number 3, holiday app scams, where children can chat with Santa, watch him feed the reindeer, or light the menorah. The BBB says some apps contain malware or may ask for payment information they steal. So check them out first.
You can do some research and look up online. Many of these apps are created by businesses. So you can see if you can put the name of the app and do a search and see with the word scam or other customer reviews on the app.
TikTok says it is committed to creating a safer online space for its users and conducted a survey to see what changes need to be made. TikTok surveyed more than 10,000 parents, teachers, and teens in various countries to better understand users' engagement with challenges and hoaxes on the site. Teens categorized 48% of the popular TikTok challenges as safe and 3% as very dangerous. This comes in contrast to the danger parents and caregivers perceive about hoaxes, many of which reportedly have an aspect of self-harm. Moving forward, the company says a new resource center will be created for adults so they can stay informed on challenges and hoaxes on the app. A state police sergeant was expecting the worst when a small plane crashed in eastern Pennsylvania. Dylan Fearon has the story.
The only reason why those two are alive is because of God's presence. That's the only way I can explain it.
State Police Sergeant John Richards still can't believe a father and daughter survived a horrific plane crash, then 5 hours in devastatingly cold conditions.
I never expected to find two people alive.
He did find them, but from the beginning it looked grim. A plane going from Wilkes-Barre Scranton International to the Poconos, crashing in the woods in Bear Creek Township. It happened around 8 last night. First responders battling time and the conditions.
They were extremely hypothermic. They were in shock. They had some medical injuries.
The father and pilot is 58 years old. His daughter, the passenger, just 13.
It was cold. We weren't locating anything. And it was like, guys, you want to go home, you can go home. And when we find something, we'll call you back out. And their exact comment to me was, we're not leaving. Because as soon as we get home, you're going to find something. We're going to stay out here until we find it.
With the help of the U.S. Air Force and the pilot's wife, Richards was able to receive the location of an iPad that was inside the plane. They followed the GPS coordinates and found the father and daughter alive. Here's Airport Director Carl Beardsley as the FAA and NTSB investigate.
But this is a smaller plane, usually 2 or 3 seats. And like I said, it's used as a trainer for the most part.
Now, investigators say the plane is actually in much better shape than you think, and it didn't even catch fire. It's half a mile deep in these woods behind me, and troopers say they have to be very careful because the terrain is so dangerous.
Everybody just worked together for one common goal, and it worked out.
We want to leave you with a smile tonight. For your loved ones, want them to have more heart tugs? Then give them longer hugs. That's according to a new study. Scientists at Goldsmiths University of London, a public research university, say dig in and hold on longer in hugs to convey the best effects. Hugs between 5 and 10 seconds deliver a more positive impact than shorter ones. Researchers rounded up 48 blindfolded women and hugged one another at 1, 5, and 10 seconds in different hug patterns. They rated the hugs pleasant, arousing, and under control. 1 second hugs were less pleasant and under control than 5 or 10 second ones. Both 5 and 10 second hugs had similar outcomes. The study is in the journal Acta Psychologica. So remember that when you see your loved ones this Thanksgiving, I guess. From our whole team, thank you for joining us. We hope you have a great night.